हरि ओम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Bhagavad Gita, a conversation with God daily. In this series, today, chapter 5, shloka number 11. कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये. Today is Vijayadasami. Vijayadasami wishes to all of you. Vijayadasami, what is the actual significance of it? It falls on the 10th day of Navaratri, 9 nights, and then the 10th day is Vijayadasami. The Upanishads actually say the Devas and Asuras, they assembled to fight. And often we see in all the Puranas everywhere that the Devas and Asuras fought. The Devas and Asuras fought. What does it actually mean? The Upanishads say the Asuras and the Devas fight means the various sense organs, they are actually, if affected by the Asuras, if the Asuras conquer the sense organs, then the sense organs are inclined towards sins, inclined towards adharmic activities, inclined towards worldly activities. And if the Devas actually conquer our senses, then our senses are inclined towards good deeds. They are inclined towards dharmic activities. They are inclined towards the Brahman. So this is actually a constant battle between the good and evil, between the dharmic and adharmic, between the materialistic and spiritual. It is constantly taking place here within us. And the Devas, the divine nature should conquer the asuric tendencies. That is what the whole thing is about. That is what the whole thing, Bhagavad Gita, we are hearing everything only for that. The 9 days, Navaratri, it is called Ratri, is night, that is darkness. The first 3 days, the next 3 days, and then the next 3 days, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, we say. Durga, goddess Durga actually signifies Tamoguna, goddess Lakshmi, Rajoguna, and goddess Saraswati, Satvaguna. So, these 3 gunas, they actually struggle, they fight to overcome the asuras, the asuric tendencies. That is what this Navaratri actually signifies. From Tamoguna, then Rajoguna, and then Sattvaguna, and finally above all 3 gunas, Nirguna. That is what Navaratri is all about. If we have conquered our senses, then the 10th day is Vijayadasami. We are victorious. I have conquered my senses. I have conquered Maya. Now I am the Brahman. So that state is true victory. That is on the 10th day, Vijayadasami. They say Lord Rama killed Ravana on Vijayadasami. Signifies only this. Ravana, 10 heads means the 10 indriyas. 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. And this divine nature conquers all the indriyas and becomes victorious. So that is what Vijaya Dasami is about. We are now pursuing that journey. First, we are in the initial step of actually doing all actions as offerings to God and giving up the attitude of I am the doer. The ahankara should be totally destroyed and totally unattached to the results of the action. That will lead us to Jnana Yoga and then ultimately wisdom and then liberation. So, on this Vijayadasami, I wish you all that you conquer your senses and become victorious and be established in the Brahman. The 11th shloka, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi yoginaha karma kurvanti. The yogis, they actually do all actions. How do they do? Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyairapi. The actions are done just by the body, just by the mind, just by the sense organs. They don't do anything. The organs, the body, it does the various actions. Sangam tyaktva, totally giving up all attachment. Atma shuddhaye, karma yoga actually purifies the mind. So for the sake of purifying oneself, the yogis do actions in this manner. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva, the one who is actually in karma yoga, karma phalam tyaktva, giving up the attachment towards results. Whatever we have seen so far, that only is being repeated again and again. Shanti apnoti naishtikim. When you actually give up attachment towards results, when you actually don't expect anything, then we are so peaceful. We already saw desire is the root cause of all evil. So once you don't expect anything when you do something, you just do it. You don't expect anything out of it. Then itself half the tension is gone. We'll be just happy doing it. When you are going to sing for yourself, you are just humming a song, singing something very happy, sitting in front of your golu and singing for yourself. You are so happy. But at the same time, if you are going to sing for an audience, a mic in front of you, you have to sing for them, then you are tensed because, oh, I have to sing properly. If I go wrong, what will everybody like my song? Will they appreciate how I sing? Like this. When we have some expectations, then there is tension. Nothing, we are just doing it, means we are always peaceful, happy. So, karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. Naishtikim shantim is ultimate liberation. When you are going to follow karma yoga, then you become qualified for jnana yoga, and then you attain wisdom, and then you attain liberation. Ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. But if you are not going to follow karma yoga, and if you are going to do things for the sake of your own desires, expecting something, desiring something, then the result of that action binds you to samsara. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Next shloka actually describes the jnani. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. He has totally given up all actions. Manasa sanyasya. That means he is still doing actions, but he sees inaction in action. So actually he doesn't do anything. He has given up all actions. Aste sukham vashi. Vashi. He has all his senses under control. And all senses under control, so sukham. He is so happy. Nivritta bahya sarva prayojana. Totally any expectation from the outside world is not there. So he is so happy. Navadvare pure dehi. He stays in this body. This body is called Navadvara Puri. There are 9 holes in this body. 2 eyes, 2 ears, the 2 holes of the nose, and then the reproductory organs too. The excretory organs too. So, totally 9 holes in this body. And in this Navadvara Puri, that jnani, he resides. He is called a Dehi. He is there in the body. Everybody is there in the body. So why is that jnani particularly called Dehi? Of course everyone has a body. The thing is, everyone has a body. But everyone thinks, I am the body. If you are going to get a cut in your body and it bleeds, then it's paining. My skin has been cut, it's bleeding. So you feel as if something has happened to you. You are actually identifying yourself with the body. But the jnani, he feels, I am different, this body is different. The body is just a dress that can be owned and then it can just be discarded and you can wear a new dress. So this body is not me. He just resides in that body. We all say, I reside in my house. I reside in Tirunelveli. So we reside in a city, in a house. We don't feel I am Tirunelveli or I am the house. I reside in the house. I reside in Tirunelveli. Similarly, that jnani resides in this body. This body is like a city for him and there he resides. Naiva kurvan na karayan. He doesn't do anything and he doesn't cause anything to be done also. Totally. If you don't have ahankara, then you don't do anything. You don't feel I am the doer. And if you don't have mamakara, this is mine, then you don't cause anything to be done also. So, totally, only when you feel this is mine, these eyes are mine, then you make it see something. So, totally giving up ahankara and mamakara, he is not doing anything and he is not causing anything to be done also. Next shloka. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhuhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. And na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhuhu. The feeling that I am the doer and the various things that are done, all these God doesn't do. All these are happening in this world. God is not responsible for any of that. And na karma phala samyogam. He doesn't cause attachment towards the results also. Then how does it happen? Svabhavastu pravartate. They actually happens because of Maya, because of the three gunas, because of our own ignorance. Because of ignorance, the living beings, they actually feel I do it and they actually do various things and they get attached to the various results. God doesn't do any of this. We actually, many times, we easily say, right? God is responsible for everything. We say, always, this is God's wish, so I am doing this. This is God's wish. With that attitude, you do everything. So do something, some great sin, do something wrong, and then think, oh, it's God's wish I did. In Mahabharata, Duryodhana often says like that. So, God is not responsible for anything. For whatever you do, He doesn't say get attached to the karma. He actually again and again he is screaming. So how? So many times he has been saying in different ways. Why? So that it actually gets imprinted in our hearts. We actually get it in practice. Now, in all these 5 chapters, whatever we remember or we don't remember, in Bhagavad Gita, one thing we all will remember, that is doing actions without getting attached to the results and doing actions without the feeling that I am the doer. We should do all actions as offerings to God. This we all will remember because it has been repeated so many times. And in this shloka, so it is said, God doesn't do anything. It is the nature of each living being that causes him to do the actions or get the idea that he is the doer or get attached to the results. So we'll stop with this for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Hari Om.